After President Trump's joint address to Congress last night, Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany says he was glad to hear President Trump announce reciprocal tariffs as the Republican from northern Wisconsin specifically pointed to the Canadian tariffs on his state's dairy products.
So why should they be putting tariffs denying Wisconsin dairy farmers access to their market when we allow access to our market? And I think that's what we're going to see now. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Tiffany also appreciates the president's emphasis on encouraging major companies to build right here in America. Meanwhile, Democratic U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar said Trump did not discuss how he'll bring down grocery prices, housing prices, health care, or child care prices last night. Instead, she criticized the president for talking about increasing tariffs and cutting taxes for the wealthy. Despite a partisan